Welcome to Real Talk for Real Teachers. I'm Dr. Becky Bailey, the creator of Conscious Discipline. I'm an expert in education, child development, and lifelong teacher and learner. For those listening who are not aware of Conscious Discipline, you need to stop right now and just Google us. So go to the website. But in addition, just so you know, it's a comprehensive, brain-based, trauma-informed, social-emotional learning program. And it's unique in the sense that it integrates school climate, classroom management, and self-regulation into one seamless system. A lot of people think with Conscious Discipline, because the title is Conscious Discipline, that it's not a social-emotional learning program. It indeed is one. It's very comprehensive, but we are proud that we integrate those three things under one umbrella. Today, we'll be joining Jill Molli, a Master Certified Instructor with Conscious Discipline for, almost 20 years now, and Lindsey Merrick, a principal of a charter school in Tallahassee. They're going to be discussing how Conscious Discipline worked within their charter school system and share with us that process, that journey, and those successes. Let's listen in.
I'm joined today by Lindsey Merrick. Thank you so much for joining me today, Lindsey. We're here to talk a little bit about, you started a charter school, are a principal, administrator at a charter school. Tell me a little bit about the history of your charter.
Sure. So the school is actually my school is a replication of another charter in Tallahassee. And it was founded in 1999, and then 5 years ago, it was maybe a few more than that, they decided that they were going to open a replication site. So the first step in opening the replication site was getting an approval from the Department of Education, and then their next step was finding an administrator to go on that crazy journey of opening a charter school. So that's kind of how our specific charter school came to be in existence. It was a replication, which is a little bit easier of a process than going ahead and opening a brand new charter school. But that's kind of how we got to where we are.
Where it started. And so when the charter originated then in 1999, they had a mission statement. And so how did you guys happen upon deciding Conscious Discipline to be the social emotional curriculum for you guys to use for your charter?
Sure. So for many years, they had dabbled in Conscious Discipline. The original campus dabbled in it. And they actually had Dr. Becky Bailey come many years ago to their school. They've had a few trainers come, but it was very classroom specific. So there were some classrooms that were using it in their schools or in their classrooms, and then there were some classrooms that were just kind of doing their own thing. And our that charter kind of allowed for that to happen. And so when I got a job there in 2009, I believe it was. The school offered to send me to CD1. So I went to CD1 that summer, came back, and started implementing in my classroom. And
so you were a teacher in the charter?
I was a teacher
in the original charter.
At the original charter school. And then I implemented in the classroom for many years. And then a new principal took over and decided that they were interested in implementing school-wide. So, they saw what was happening in the classrooms that were doing Conscious Discipline with Fidelity and decided that they wanted to implement school-wide. So we kind of started that journey on that campus, and then a few years later, the opportunity to replicate the school came up. I was chosen as the principal of that school, and then we launched into, when I took that on, I said, we're doing this school-wide. And so after that happened, our board that oversaw both of the schools is separate from the Leon County School Board.
So you have two school boards?
There's the Leon County School Board, which oversees the District of Leon County. And then our board has its own board of directors. So we have, as a charter school, we have a contract with Leon County Schools that allows us to operate in their district. So we're still technically a public school. We have to follow any mandates that come down from the Department of Education that are, the Florida Standards Assessment, the Florida Standards, but we have autonomy to choose curriculum. We have autonomy to choose we have our own policies, we have our own procedures, and so we had the autonomy to say we are going to use conscious discipline, which is not the same social emotional program that our district uses.
I see. And so where do you pull your children from? So you're in Tallahassee.
Yes.
So how do you get your population?
We are lottery based, so we're considered a school of choice. So parents have to apply to
Any parent
in
Leon
County can apply to attend the charter school, and then the school runs a random lottery, and the students that get drawn from the lottery are offered enrollment and can enroll. So really we get students from all over the district. So most schools are, you have your neighborhood schools, so it's all of the children in that little neighborhood. And for our school, they come from everywhere. They come from all over the district. So.
And you've been in existence how many years?
We're going into our 5th year, so we opened in 2015.
So tell us about academically, have you seen a difference as a result of the implementation of conscious discipline?
Absolutely. And some really cool data came out this past year. We opened up in 2015 kindergarten through 2nd grade. So our students did not take the standardized test for the Florida Standards Assessment. They don't start taking that until 3rd grade. So the year after we opened, so in our 16-17 school year, our 3rd graders, who were 2nd graders when we opened, took the test for the first time. And we earned an A that year. But what's even more powerful, I think, is watching the trend of those students. So this year, our 3rd grade reading scores came out. And we had, the 3rd graders that took the test this year were kindergartners when we first opened.
Right.
So they were with us kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And they scored the highest in the district for reading proficiency of the 3rd. So of all of the elementary schools in our district, we had 91% of our students on grade level or above.
And you're pulling
huge.
from the entire district. So you're not pulling from just a more affluent area
Correct.
or a more at-risk area. You really have a smorgasbord of
Yes,
of
if
kiddos.
you mapped out the home zone schools of all of our kids, it's all over the map.
Wow.
So
tell me a little bit about the success that you've had with conscious discipline. What would you attribute the success, your school-wide implementation has permeated the building, and the classrooms are a little different. So your classrooms have how many students to how many teachers?
Yes. So we have 26 students in a classroom approximately, but we have 2 certified teachers in the classrooms. So that's kind of what's more specific to our charter. That is a part of our charter, is that we have 2 teachers in every classroom. And then we're also multi-age. So kindergarten and 1st grade are together in the same classroom. 2nd and 3rd grade, 4th and 5th grade.
So children stay with a teacher for 2 years.
Yes. So they have that continuity of having the same
relationship.
teacher for 2 years. And then the other piece is it doesn't take as long for us to build school family, because we have half of the children who were a school family the previous year coming back.
And so that soil of
Yep.
school family is built so quickly.
Yep.
What would you attribute the success that you've had with conscious discipline? Is it how you've rolled it out? Is it that you've sent folks to CD1? Is it that you've just been able to maintain staff? What would you say are 2 or 3 of the real success pieces?
Sure. I think it's a combination, and I'll kind of walk through when I reflect on the process, what held us together and what helped us to be successful. So when we opened in 2015, it was, I always attribute it to the brain states. It was our survival state year, right? It was just survival mode. We opened we had 5 weeks. Like when we found out we were getting the building, we had 5 weeks to launch our opening. So it was a survival state year. It was just keeping our head above water, and really it was just coming up for air when we had time. And I we worked with a certified instructor, Nicole Mercer, and she helped us to kind of lay out our plan for the year. And the main goal was building staff family. So that first year, we just built staff family. We worked really hard on keeping our staff connected. And truthfully, that's what held us afloat that first year. It was a really hard year, lots of challenging behavior, because if you think about students in second grade whose parents are willing to make the switch in second grade, they were likely not successful in their first school.
Right.
So for some of our second graders, we were their third school.
Wow.
So we had like really big behaviors that year. It was a humbling experience. But really just focusing on building the staff family that first year. And then the next year we upgraded to our emotional state. And then, year 3 and beyond, we really felt like the staff was executive. We had very little staff turnover that first year, which was a miracle, which I attribute it solely to building that staff family. And
so you had Nicole, she came in, set the chart, kind of the plan for you guys.
Yes.
And what else do you feel like helped you have so much success?
Yes. We prioritized sending our staff to CD1. So I was kind of writing down the list of teachers who have attended, and we've got approximately 35 full-time staff members on our campus, so teaching staff, instructional staff. And this year, 19 of them will have already attended CD1.
And CD1 is the institute, just in case anybody's listening that doesn't know. The Summer Institute, that's a 7-day institute where you really are immersed in the culture of conscious discipline. And so 19 of your 35 have attended.
Yes. So this past year, we were able to have at least one teacher. So we have 2 in every classroom, at least one of them in every classroom had attended CD1.
Oh, wow.
So they had that full exposure. I really can't emphasize enough the importance of getting your staff, feeding them.
So did you send your stars, or did you send the ones that you were like, oh my gosh, these guys have got to get some professional development because they are pulling our school down? Right.
No, we went with our transformers. So the teachers that were doing it in their classrooms, that were excited about it, that were wanting to be on our conscious discipline action team, that were just you can just tell. I think, and as principals, you tend to kind of go, well, you need some professional development, and that's not. I don't recommend that at all. I recommend sending the transformers, those teachers that are going to take it and run with it. And that has really paid off. Yeah.
And I remember you saying and sharing something about some wonderful things that you've done with your parents. So that is a hard thing for schools to get parents engaged. So what have you done?
Yep. So like I said, it was our executive state year. Probably year 3 was when we really felt like we were in a space where we could kind of pay it forward and give back to people outside of just the school doors. And our just by modeling it, I think, and for just them seeing it being done in their classrooms, and we would whenever we would have a new student orientation or open house, we would open with a Brain Smart Start and have greeters at the door, and we treated it like a school family. And then our parents really took to it. So our PTA decided that they wanted to have a school family name, and they named themselves Wings, and they start their PTA meetings with greeters at the door, and they make a commitment when they come in the door, and when we do a Brain Smart Start at our PTA meetings, which is really neat. So the pay it forward process has been really cool.
And I know you're also working with some other schools now in the district. So talk about that.
Yes. So Hartsfield Elementary is another school that's looking to adopt a conscious discipline, and they're in their second year of implementation. And they, Dr. Flanagan, their principal, and I, we formed a really awesome bond, and just we're excited to get our schools connected, because we do have we're located in different parts of the city, and so we serve a different demographic. We've connected with their school family. We had a staff meet and greet, and then we had some of their teachers come over and just spend a day in our classrooms.
Oh,
and
how wonderful.
I was able to kind of point out which rooms were a little bit farther along in their journey, which ones just came from CD1 that summer, so they could see the different stages of where people were in their journey. But it's so, as teachers, it's so nice to see it happening, which is what's great about the Summer Institute too, because you live it,
Right.
you're immersed in it. And then we've had a couple other schools in our area reach out to say, hey, we heard you guys are doing cool things. We'd love to come see. And we had a school come from Pasco County this past year to say, we want to see what you guys are doing. And so we arranged for them. They came up and stayed in a hotel and brought their admin team. And
once
just
your
toured.
staff really begins to share their story and their experiences, then it deepens certainly their knowledge. I mean, we know that when, to teach it, you really have to know it at a
Live
different
it,
level.
yeah.
And so what a wonderful way to continue your staff on their journey. Because if you've been doing it for some of your staff that have been with you from origination,
Yes.
right? From the very beginning. And
Yeah.
so, have you added, so now you are kindergarten through?
Sixth. This year will be sixth grade. So,
Okay.
And we'll grow to eighth.
Oh, you will grow to
Yep.
8, so you will continue to grow. And so every year, you really have to have a lot of welcoming rituals, a lot of,
Yep.
because you're
It's ever
hiring,
evolving. Yep.
hiring new folks and having more, folks coming in. So when children come, then they stay as the school then extends. And then if they're there, do their siblings have an opportunity to come, or is that still the lottery?
Yes. So there are our policies state that our siblings have priority. So if there's a spot, siblings have first priority. And so if we have a child who has a second grader who has a kindergarten sibling, the kindergartners know that they're going to be coming in too. So we do have that continuity.
And so do you get any feedback from parents who have had other experiences, or just what do parents say about the conscious discipline and energy and environment of your building?
Our parents are always shocked by that they see the principal, that the principal's got a smile on her face, that we do it a little bit differently, and we talk a lot about problem solving, and at open house from the get-go we state if there's something going on, if you've got a question about something, just let us know. We're very open. We're visible. We try to be visible as we can be in the hallways, and we get a lot of great feedback from families who come to us when students come to us in the older grades. They've been in other public schools, for their early years in elementary school, and I have set up a little ritual with those students that they have lunch with me that first week of school, so that I can get to know them and hear what their experience was like. And even on the first week of school, the kids are able to articulate. It's just different.
Wow.
We don't talk the way that you guys talk at my old school. And my teacher told me we don't get in trouble, that we have oopses, and it's important that we learn from them and make a plan to be successful. They identify the language, and then we have a lot of parents who have shared with us about their children's anxiety about going to school, about testing, and the bullying experiences that they've had, and it's that they have a different experience when they come to our schools. Their children's anxiety levels drop. We've heard that a lot.
Wow. So what would you say, to any principal, charter or not charter, what is the biggest hurdle when implementing?
The biggest hurdle with implementing is well, and I don't necessarily know if it's the biggest hurdle, but it's a hurdle that we've come across, and that's funding. So as specifically for charter schools too, it's a challenge, and we are not a wealthy charter school by any means. But it's all about priorities, and so our PTA fundraises, does a fundraiser specifically to send staff members to CD1.
Wow.
So they choose one fundraiser that they do at the end of the year, and the proceeds from that fundraiser go towards sending as many people as they can afford from that fundraiser to CD1.
Wow, so that is exciting that your PTA is so behind you. What do you think inspired them to realize what a gift it would be to offer that to the teachers? How did you help them find that as a...
Sure. So like I mentioned, our first year was a little bit rocky. We had, it was rocky in all aspects, and we really didn't have that insight yet to build the connection with our PTA, because we were just in survival mode. So it wasn't really until year 2 that we started just building a connection with our PTA and saying, my admin team, we met regularly, so we met at least once a month with the PTA leadership.
Oh, okay.
So the president, the vice president, and anybody who wanted to come to the meeting with admin. And we kind of came up with some agreements for how we wanted our relationship to be, because year 1 was hard. And so we kind of laid a foundation with our admin leadership and the PTA leadership and said, here's how we want things to go. And that really built a bridge for them to say, how can we help you? And then for us to say, how can we help you? How can we help support you? And so those conversations really started to flow between the two leadership teams, and we meeting regularly, staying connected, open communication, our priorities. They wanted to support. They loved the mission. They loved what we were doing. They chose the school for their children. And so they wanted to do whatever they could do to support. And so when they asked what our priorities were as administrators, we were able to say, we don't have the funding to send our people to conscious discipline. Is this something that you guys could fundraise for? And they were masterful fundraisers. Like, they came up with all kinds of creative ways to fundraise. And they were willing, they were super willing. And, we had initially said the goal was 1, to send 1 person. And then it grew to 2, and then it grew to whatever we did an end of the year spring carnival, and whatever funding, how many ever staff members they could send, they gave the money for.
And so how many were you able to send this year?
Well, this summer with PTA funds, we were able to send 2, and then we had some professional development funds from the state that we were able to send as well.
So how many folks do you have this summer attending?
Total, we have 10, because we had some people that came back as helpers. Some staff members that are growing in their journey that came back as helpers. So.
Well, this has been so helpful. I know that you've helped so many people understand, first of all, charters and the road that you have taken to have so much success. We're so proud of you. We're so glad that you've had the academic success, but more than any of the academic success, we're glad that you're raising brilliant children who are going to be able to solve problems and navigate through tough waters. So wonderful job. Thanks so much, Lindsey.
Jill. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill and Lindsey, for sharing your discussion with all of us. I love how your PTA jumped on board and participated in funding conscious discipline, and how you built a conscious discipline bridge between the administration team and the PTA leadership team. Very brilliant. So what's Becky up to? Well, I just finished a new chapter in an upcoming new child therapy book that will be coming out soon. It's on baby doll circle time and how to use that in a therapeutic environment. I will keep you posted once the book is released, and I'll let you all know in case that's something of interest to you. So what are we celebrating? Well, it took a long time and many people, but we're now a certified woman-owned business. And we're actually part of the Women Business Enterprise National Council. And the exciting thing is that we're part of a group, a growing group. And the second part is it took a lot to get this done. So yay for our team. So until next time, I wish you well.
For more episodes of Real Talk with Real Teachers by Dr. Becky Bailey, visit consciousdiscipline.com/podcasts. You can also subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app.